Grenada, Grenada. Yes? That little dot, its position, and why almost every 14 years hurricanes actually hit or still do not hit this little dot. Now, when we look at climate change, we see Sahara dust and all these different things. And still yet, we're dealing with pests and diseases. Close up, people, how we look? No big nasty, you know. It disappear in arc. Yes. So, usually, when the hurricane season enters during the September-October period, when the rain also comes in, just in my little area, what I have noticed for the past 5 years, whenever this time comes around or about to happen, you would see the wind making small tornadoes that would last up to 5 seconds at time. Sometimes even 60 seconds, 1 minute, where the plain eye can see the revolving of the wind. With that revolving of that cone-like wind shaped that you would see at the tail, dust, leaves, anything that would be at the tip of the tail that it would take away or extract from the environment around it. So we're talking worms, lice, fleas, ticks, and we're talking from all over the world, because hurricanes happen and start practically almost everywhere and anywhere. So yes, it may be a repeated, expounded talk. Worms, lice, flea, tick, hurricanes, climate change, diseases, epidemic, pandemic. Yes, they all coordinate themselves together. And like I said, when the going gets tough, the tough should get going quickly. Yes, and so as we go along within our daily lives, we may experience, we may research on our own along with other information that is available to us. But yes, somebody's got to read the text. Somebody's got to read the text. So guidelines on what information you're looking for from the text. That is the real deal, the point. Textbooks are there for a reason. Understanding and common sense, that's a whole nother story. It's up to you how you perceive the situation and how you perceive to engage the situation. And 2-3 years back, I would have been saying like, I'm hungry, and people are looking at me like, every minute she's eating, what is she talking about? She's hungry. And I'm detoxing, and I'm doing the worms, and I'm doing this, and I'm doing that. Yes, and I'm also doing my vitamins, my minerals, getting the right foods in, right? Because what will happen, as I've said time and time again, these pests, parasites, diseases get accustomed to our climates because they also want to survive. No matter how much things we do, we don't kill all of the microorganisms, bacteria, fungus within our guts, right? And now, some things kill eggs, some chemicals or herbs or spices may kill the adults, and then according to how old the adult becomes, the larger it is, it's the more poison it would need. And plus, the babies would be feeding. So, like, remember I said, oh, that would look like a swamp, a hive, right? And remember now I said I also use the lavender oil inside of there. That's good for acne. So it's not having these huge holes into my skin, but tiny, and so they would be all gone. And we're at the 4th day. So yes, people take medical contracts, whether they're educated or not. And so you have extremists, mad scientists, crazy people at times. But yes, this is why it has moved from a generalized aspect and simplified to just medical field. So you have to be attending a university to first set your hands on a first $1 million before you can see $1 billion. Most people don't get to $1 billion. They either die before or they're suffering. They have lost the contract, because if you can't get on to understand what's happening to you, to solve the problem that is happening to you, then you can't help others and you can't solve the problem for others. So when you hear a bulletin from the Ministry of Health where they're asking you to keep your areas clean, breathe inside some mosquitoes and all of that, they don't have to live in that situation to tell you that that situation is unhealthy. But they can tell you, oh, there's a rise in dengue fever at the hospital. There's a rise in yellow fever at the hospital. And there are mosquitoes that carry these diseases. Now, along with our hygiene and our surroundings of people that we may interact with, the parasites and pests different to this that we may interact with could cause serious. Now, we got this little simple thing here, right? And then now, like I say, remember I said earlier on, people who followed the post on Facebook and so, right? The worms, the lice, the millibug. Ask me how millibug get inside of you. I have no idea. But there are similarly blood suckers too. And there are glucose suckers. And another analysis I made is that we call sugar like because it has cane in it, but it has other things inside of it that has nothing to do with cane that make sugar crystallizing, right? I was thinking to myself, he's not having that bad sugar. He is only having the glucose from your fruits, your ground provisions that you would eat a lot, the bananas and the plantains and the yam and the dasheen and yes. And so this gives them the strength to fight, because as a human being, if you are healthy, you could avert certain poisons as well as administering calcium to your body, right? We know calcium, magnesium carbonate, they help fight a lot of different poison. And I think to myself, I've analyzed to myself that that's how these critters are doing their thing. So fair enough, I haven't dewormed for maybe a year now or so. I did something last year though. Early up in probably October, November, I took a fluconazole. I know that was the last thing that I did. And then we came into 2024 and I just kept doing pills. So I was doing my red blood cells pump. I did the brain thing. I did the hair, skin, and nail vitamin combination. And what made me really into that thing is that I put my hair up in one. I leave my hair loose a lot. I would normally have a little hair loss going on, but I thought that the breaking was extreme. So yes, get me some rosemary oil there. Get me some other stuff, commercial stuff. So I'll add the rosemary oil into the commercial stuff. The thing is to you spray it or you drop it in the dry scalp twice a day. But they say you need 4 treatments to thing, but I go stay with that. You understand me? So yes, lice gets at the root, the worm getting at the root because they're all conducive to a certain environment. So this is why now this could be so bad for you. So you gone and done chemotherapy here now, radiation, right? You burn up all of this here, and now this is a live sore. You think the worm gone? You think the lice gone? I said it before, time and time. They can survive 365 degrees Fahrenheit heat. The eggs. The eggs. Just like the mosquitoes. When we have our dry period, and there would be months upon weeks where there are no rain, the eggs are there waiting for the rain. As soon as the rain has dropped, the eggs hatch. And so, these are common sense information. Understanding how to get rid of it to bridge the gap between us all, living beings, living organisms, microorganisms. Yes? And that's the point of it. When you come to EJ's Enterprise, you're entailed to get a little history, a little biology, a little chemistry within the whole fact of it. But it's all because of you. Loving yourself. Selfie. Have a nice one. It's the weekend, people. It's Friday. TGIF.